What up, what up, what up? This is your boy, the seer, Mike the philosopher.
Seer.
Here with the rude ass, Kamal Aristo, Ski, along with the governor of black male. All right. And this topic goes to England as far as Prince Williams, okay? Because Prince Williams said there are too many Africans that is living in Africa. What are your thoughts about that, Ski?
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, he's not from Africa. How do we know? He did a census on Africa. I don't know.
Yeah, he said. Well, he said.
So that's fake. You know, at the end of the day, is Prince. What's his name?
Prince Williams.
The Prince of. His daddy a king. His dad a king, huh?
You know Prince Charles, right? That's his pops.
No, Prince Charles.
That's his pops.
Some people, I don't know. Why they in a light? Why they in a spotlight? What's up with them people?
Because they the royal family, man, of England.
The royalty of what? Where they get their power from?
That's a good question right there.
Yeah,
That's a good question right there.
What's his name again? Prince who? Harry? Is he a robotoid?
You know where they got their power from? Africa is where they got their power from.
I mean,
no, seriously, that's where they got their power from, because a lot of places in Africa were sending money over to Europe. I mean, that's why a lot of European countries are doing well, is because they siphon a lot of the resources, a lot of the things, out of Africa. And they pretty much have a legacy of oppressing, melanated people. And that's now I'm not saying that they're necessarily doing that now, but that is the legacy of that throne. That's how they got all of their money. But now it's more of a what you would call symbolic type of royalty. And that symbolic royalty is what they're still going by right now. I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of power per se, but they do have that symbolic legacy. And the Europeans like to see someone in power like that. I mean, just like Americans like to see certain people in power like Trump or whatever. They just put these people on a pedestal, and it creates it's something that makes them, I don't know, I'm not sure why they like it, but I think they like the whole fairy tale of it.
We're talking about Queen Elizabeth. That ain't no queen. That ain't even a real person. That's just, I mean, they put stuff out here like the Simpsons or something. Just be going on and on and on for years. You know what I'm saying? But it's all some BS at the end of the day.
Yeah. This is what Prince William said. The increasing pressure of Africa's wildlife and wild spaces as a result of human population presents a huge challenge.
Hold on a second. Seer, Prince Williams didn't say that. Bill Snakes said that.
Well, yeah. I'm quoting Prince William right now, man. Bill Gates may have said something similar, but I'm just quoting Prince William right now. Okay, and he said the increasing pressure on African wildlife and wild spaces as a result of human population presents a huge challenge for conservationists.
I got another question.
Why did you interrupting me?
Did you read this from?
I'm reading it from an article.
An article? Yeah.
Is there a problem with that? Okay, well, while you choke, let me finish, okay? And then he said,
yeah, that.
As it does with world over, he said during a charity event as cited by the British media. Okay, so really what he's saying is that the population of Africans is jeopardizing wildlife. and the human population presents a huge challenge because too many Africans are damaging the wildlife.
I mean, well, he said that, but the Miracron, or whatever crumb from and when the transform you on came out of Africa, so they done anyway, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you know that is kind of ironic
for these Africans now. It came from Africa, now it's all in the Americas. They got all kind of, people. A man just came over here off a plane, and he carried the Americron with him. He brung it, and 5 people contacted
the Omicron. The Omicron.
Yeah. Omicron, Americron, whatever crumb that is. Crumb like Conan Crumb. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's in California. I think I seen the first case in California of that.
Anyhow, that's how they do things.
You think it was planted there?
Yeah.
You think so? I mean, it's just funny how he's talking about depopulating Africa, and then this new variant pops up there. It could be a coincidence. But we always got to keep on our toes because
Prince Scary Harry.
A lot of people don't like melanated people on the planet, and it's just a fact. What do you think about this, Black?
People, nah, it's only one people that's really.
Yeah, you already know what I think.
But it's the wildlife, though. I mean, forget your life. We need to preserve wildlife. That's what he's saying.
Well, they consider all of us wildlife. But this is all a pandemic, man. This is all situated. You already know. I ain't saying nothing new. Like, they have an agenda. They rolling it out piece by piece to make you, it's like the scientific theory, when you put a frog into a pot of water, you turn the stove on, you warm it up, he don't jump out. You keep incrementally increasing the heat, and his body will just adjust to it to the point where you turned it all the way up, unbeknownst to him, and he done cooked himself because he's adjusted to every element that you put him in until he dead. So that's what we doing. This is all an experiment. Even the monocron or whatever all that stuff is, it's an experiment, but it's a death experiment. It's like Dr. Kevorkian, and they helping us kill ourselves. So they trying to
kill
help
ourselves
people.
Or kill us.
No, they suggesting that you do, that you go and you submit to all of these fake mandates and all that, and which, by the way, didn't they just shut that down in like 10 states? Didn't the Supreme Court just shut that down, the mandates, in like 10 states?
Well, they back up now. They back up because
no, they ain't.
Yeah, well, they're gonna be because of the Omicron. Now that
no,
it's here,
they're not up.
No, that's what I think that's what Biden said. They're gonna start bringing the mandates back, mask mandates back.
No, I'm talking about that other stuff, that poison, that juice, that Jim Jones juice.
So
yeah.
Well, they boosters. They're asking people to get boosters.
Listen, man, this is all, dude. This is a money grab and a complete wiping of the slate. They want to, like, if everybody's name is on a whiteboard, they want to erase the whole whiteboard and only leave a couple people on there. Right. So that's what they're trying to do right now. But they need your help. They need you to help you kill you.
Here's what I don't get. First of all, Africans been there forever, living with wildlife. This whole overpopulation for wildlife, I find to be a bunch of bullshit, really. And the reason why is because you're talking about wildlife. First of all, you don't get rid of human beings because you think like they're discardable, and the wildlife is more important. And here, you see what I'm saying? And here's the second point. The royals are used to going to Africa and shooting the wildlife.
All the time.
The hunting is mainly done by Europeans. How about you say this? No Europeans go to Africa and hunt wildlife. How about that? If you want to preserve, if you really care about the wildlife in Africa, don't hunt them. Don't bring your guns. Don't do none of that. Don't try to put them on your mantles and your trophies. Okay, because all they do is they pay the Africans to go hunt these animals and kill them. And then they're tripping about the wildlife. How about this, Prince William? You don't go over to Africa killing wildlife. That will solve the problem. All of this is too many Africans. Nobody is buying that BS. Nobody is buying it.
That's because the truth is connected to an agenda. There's an actual living, breathing conspiracy to eradicate a certain demographic of people, and it just shows and peeks and shows his head every now and again. But it's live and well. Most people don't believe it. So whatever excuse they give people, that's the one that gets the headlines. But the real truth is they trying to take us all out. Right. Bottom line. That's just the truth. They trying to kill us all. Period.
Right. Yeah.
What they talking about.
And you know that bug is still going around Europe, man, pretty bad. The US and other countries are doing like China, doing a relatively good job with the numbers going down, but in Europe, for whatever reason, it's the numbers are still really going up very, very high. And I think that's it's probably messing with the population. And every time that I don't want to say that they feel that their population is going down, they feel like everybody should go down. And I could be wrong about that, but it is very suspicious to me that his reasoning for depopulating Africa is to is for the wildlife. Okay, now here are some statistics. For every five person family in the West, in the United States, our carbon footprint for one family, carbon footprint is bigger than about 200 Canadians. Okay, so us in the West and in England, we use more carbon emissions than any Africans. So it's not a carbon footprint problem. Here's another point. India is a lot smaller than Africa, and they have more people. 4.8 billion people, but they got a smaller land. I believe it's like not even. I think it's like 2.2 billion square acres or whatever. He ain't saying nothing about India. China got a small populate or land, but they got 1 something billion people. He ain't talking about China and the wildlife in China. Africa is like 30 something billion square acres or square miles, whichever one. And it got 1.3 billion people. So there's a whole lot more land to go around in Africa than there is in China or India. So why are you tripping on Africa? And the wildlife.
They already know the savior is going to come through the indigenous, the lost, the melanated. You already know, right connected to that continent was the Holy Land. So they're going to turn that to ground zero for the unholy people. And they're going to try to do a mass genocide. It's just what I think. I mean, I could be right, I could be wrong, but they already know. You know what I mean? We starting to wake up in droves and starting to migrate back over there. And we had enough of over here. So, okay, we'll finish y'all off over there. That's the mentality. They know it's like a baseball pitcher and a catcher. Like they throwing all these hooks and diseases and murder and everything they can at us. And then they go over there and catch the bodies. You know what I mean? They finna just try to catch all the bodies they can over there. I may sound a little crazy, but I'm trying to tell you the reality is crazier than these little fairy tale movies.
Yeah, man, I just find it very odd. Like, this is not the first time he says some what can be considered some racist type stuff, and he doesn't ever care what he says. He never.
Which one is
lesson. This is Prince William. This is Prince Harry's brother, his older brother.
Yeah, so I don't know him by. I don't know none of them by name.
The one that's married
I don't know which
to
one
Meghan Markle.
Exactly.
The one who's married to Meghan Markle is
Nobody know
Prince Harry.
Prince Williams and Harry and stuff.
This is just what this is just what they're called, man.
I don't. Yeah, but we ain't gonna call them that. They know Prince. They ain't no Prince.
They ain't no Prince of ours. I get
Nothing.
that.
They heathen.
But so that everybody know who we talking about, we gotta address them in that type of way. Okay, so everybody knows who we talking about. I can't just say William. They're gonna be like, "Who you talking about?"
So
yeah.
So you talking about the one that was married to the Markle?
Well, no. Well, Prince Harry is married to Meghan Markle, but Prince William is his older brother, though pretty much the heir to the throne. His older brother.
Could have said them heathens in England that stole everything or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Prince Williams and we know.
Man, that's another show, man. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about all of that in the, you know, and do they deserve to be called Prince and how did they get their legacy and is it just symbolic and all that other stuff? We can talk about
robbery.
We ain't gonna give them no title or nothing. They don't deserve no title.
People need to know who we're talking about, man.
I mean, they still know who we're talking about. You know, at the end of the day, all you gotta do is caption it.
Yeah,
you know,
but
England the fraudulent royalty family.
Let's not get caught up in semantics, Ski.
They're not real. Them people is.
Let's not get caught up in all those little minor details and all that, man. Let's just, you know, speak on the subject at hand because, you know, look, people.
What he said about Africa, it ain't about demographics at the end of the day, and no animals or none of that. Yeah, it's about some creatures at the end of the day, but not them. They talking about.
Well, it seems like he's mad that the wildlife that they keep killing is shrinking, and it's like, oh well, you know, it's too many of these black folks around. That's why the wildlife is shrinking. Well, my whole thing is put your gun away and stop hunting these wildlife, and that will do wonders for wildlife.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
You know what I mean? I mean, first of all, Africans don't have a large carbon footprint. Second of all, they Africa is spread out to like 30, like I said,
Man,
30,
it ain't got nothing to do
billion.
with none of that. Man. Mind your business.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Well,
why do they care? It's none of their business.
That's what a lot of Africans are saying.
Are you kidding?
That's what a lot of Africans are saying. Is mind your business. Yeah. Because they're saying he's speaking out of place. And I know Ski would think that his buddy Billy Gates will be doing the same thing, right?
That's who should be in the spotlight, you know, Billy Snakes, you know, because you know, it ain't even no real meat out here no more. Yeah. You know, with him.
What do you mean?
There's no real meat. They're talking about animals over there in Africa when there's no real meat over here. They making meat out the laboratories and shit. Yeah.
Well, there is real meat over here.
No, they got science meat. They got science lab meat. They've been selling that shit. Man, stop.
Well, a lot of it is plant-based, man. It's plant-based. It's made out of plants.
Plant-based.
Yeah. It's made out of, I mean, wouldn't you rather it be made out of plants instead of animals?
It's just, I think a lot of people going vegan and stuff, man. This stuff ain't real no more, man. Because of Billy Snakes. He owned all the farmlands. He owned all that. And then you go look at his the interviews he did. So, well, we're gonna have the whole world live off of a laboratory meat. It's heathen. Wow.
Oh, goodness. I don't know why I opened that Pandora's box by bringing up Billy Gates, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that, man. But you know, at the same time, a lot of people, like I said, in Africa, they are saying that Prince Williams is speaking out of turn.
He went over to Africa too and did what he did, but now he doing what he doing now. You know, with the laboratory meats. He
just being trained by the so-called powers that be over there, man. They teaching him all of this stuff. They kind of telling him what to say.
They gave him that Frankenstein power that, you know, that, man, that's crazy. You know, how he got that power to sell all this garbage food that ain't real food. You know, experiment food. And to zap people. We ain't talking about Africa or Italy or Israel or any other country. America, none of that, you know. We're talking about the power that one heathen got to do all of this stuff. Like you said, if you was a tyrant or a dictator, what would you do? You know, and that's what that heathen doing. You know, he destroying stuff. You know, they gave him the power to kill. He got the power to kill. You know,
Bill Gates is just a farm owner.
No, man. Well, look at all the African babies he did. You know, he got crimes of against humanity against him. You know. And a lot of other them heathens do too, but you know that's pushed to the side because of all of the power that they got. You know, they got as much power as Gaddafi got. No, they got more power than Gaddafi. Dig that?
They do now.
They got more power than Saddam and the other dude that was in the rocks. They got all that power. You know, how did he get all that power? Just like the England, the prince and the queens and kings over there in England, so-called England. Yeah.
You know, I would say, and this is just my opinion, I would say a lot of it is just blood money, man. You know, that King Leopold legacy type stuff. You know what I mean? And you know, that's where you know, a lot of and they own a lot of property in Africa, actually. You know, the Lake Victoria near Uganda is named after Victoria, Queen Victoria in England. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of their power came from taking it from others, man. That's just my opinion about it. Somebody in the comments want to tell me I'm wrong, go ahead and put it in the comments. But that's just my opinion. It comes from oppressing other people. And it just is way, and continuing to rob them in many different ways and have them send money to Europe. And meanwhile, they build up their countries and big buildings and institutions and things like that in Africa's still suffering to this day. And then they got the nerve to say, get rid of the people so that the wildlife can thrive and we can continue to come over here and shoot up more wildlife while having Africans disappear. That's a heaven for us, and that's just fucking ridiculous in my opinion. And he shouldn't even be speaking about getting rid of people for wildlife when he's the one who's and people, in his elk is the ones who are going over there and getting rid of these wildlife, for trophies, put them on their mantles and this, that, and the third. I've seen a lot of stories, but I've seen a lot of Europeans going over in Africa and getting rid of wildlife and then placing them on a mantle and this, that, and the third. I mean, just taking them through customs, bribe their way through customs and everything. It's just ridiculous. So, pipe down about African, especially African people, but I think a lot of it is due to fear, man. I think he's being trained by a lot of the powers that be in England. They telling them what to say so they can try and justify Africans not thriving in their own land. It's sickening that he thinks that the wildlife is more important than the people. That's just ridiculous. Like, he would never say that about Europe. He would never say anything about that about Europe. And I'm sure there's wildlife in Europe. So, is it just that Africa's an easy target? Like, because you ain't gonna say nothing to say that about no other country. You ain't gonna say, no other continent. You ain't gonna say that about no other continent other than Africa. And that's ridiculous. And that's insulting to a lot of melanated people, not just in Africa, but out of Africa, who came out of Africa. So, that was a story that really, got my cheeks tight. You know what I mean? You got anything to add to that, Black?
Well, more and more people are starting to see what I and many other people have been telling them the whole time. It's a living, breathing conspiracy that's attached to the people that they know the deliverance is going to come through. King James was the last black royalty to sit on the throne in the 1600s. He commissioned the book with the whole blueprint to life in 1611. 5 years later, he was murdered and he was overthrown. And then the rumors started by his political enemies. And it persists till this day. He had 9 children. He had a wife. And they both were in prison prior to the overthrow of the kingdom. He sat on 3 different thrones at the same time. 3 different thrones: Ireland, Britain, and another one, Scotland. He was the king of Scotland. So he was also considered a Moor, but he was an Israelite by heritage. Israelites mean he was a melanated. He would have been called a Negro today, or if he was over here, he would be called an African American today, if he was alive today. So he was the last one, and after they overthrew that, they have adopted everything you see him doing. Like the gold that they took was from King Solomon's temple.
Oh yeah.
All the gold
all the gold
that the queen.
That's all African.
Yeah,
gold,
the queen.
Man.
She just robbed them. That's all these
facts.
popes.
That ain't even opinion.
Listen, man.
Facts.
Yeah. Listen, man, these popes are gangsters too. The popes, all these popes wasn't nothing but ruthless, blood-drinking, gully, smutty, demonic gangsters. That's all they was. In order to be, there was nothing, zero, zilch holy about these cats. All these cats were some devil-worshiping, I'm talking about they filth, man, but they rose the ranks. You ain't supposed to bow down and kiss no man's hand and call him father. what he's trying to say is he is the reenactment of God on earth. That's actually antichrist.
Yeah.
That's antichrist. So, you know, but they do what they do, and don't nobody call them out on it, so they get away with it.
Right. Well, we got to wrap it up, y'all. Thanks for joining us. It's an interesting topic, and since the BMR covered it, now it's official. But I tell you, you know, that's something that we need to be looking out for. Everybody on the planet. Nobody should have to depopulate any land for any reason. So that being said, we out. Peace out. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.